and/or afternoon. If you're new here, welcome. If you're coming back, thank you so much for returning. This is another one of our dungeon guides, specifically for the Depths dungeon. If you're not ready for this video is probably not for you, but if you want to watch it, go for it. We appreciate the support. But let's just go ahead. We'll hop right into it. Starting outside the dungeon, we can run up here to the tiniest, cutest little alligator. Grab his quest for hunks of meat. You can quickly mine that stone out there and then head right on into the dungeon. Moving in here, you'll see there's some open areas. To the right, there's nothing really there. To the left, deceptive, but also nothing really there. Continuing over here towards the left, we will fight these enemies and work our way back in towards this back area back here. After clearing these enemies out, you'll see there are two plates left and right. You'll step on those and this door will open. You'll also run in and clear these enemies out and open the key at the very back, that big orb at the very back, as well as get your first journal in this room for this dungeon right here on this crate at the beginning. When you leave this room, there's also a tree off to the right that was at the entrance of this room. You want to climb that tree real quick and get a crate at the top. Now back at the beginning, there's that pillar we passed, that stone pillar. There will now be enemy spawns there. We're going to quickly clear those out. And then my team chooses to go over to this next door and quickly clear those enemies out as well before going back to the stone pillar. And it'll require like 3 of you, I believe, to open it together. And then we will move forward to this door. Upon entering this next doorway, you'll just be clearing out the trash mobs in your way. There's also this second journal page right here to the left you can quickly pick up. As I said, we just clear out this hallway of its trash mobs. On the right hand side here, there's a chest. Go ahead and make sure you pick that up and continue to clear out this hallway. Moving up the stairs from here, we will just be continuing to clear mobs into another doorway. This dungeon is fairly linear, so we're just going to quickly clear these mobs out and push through this door. Once we push through this door, surprise, surprise, more wave clear and pushing through areas. So, like I've said previously, we're going to once again continue to quickly clear out these mobs as quick as possible and push forward to that door up ahead to open it up. And once this door is open, there will be a handful of mobs behind it. You'll just, as before, quickly clear them. Continue to push forward. This time, check one of these back corners. There is a soul spire back there, as well as another waypoint to grab. Now, heading up these stairs, you'll see there's a tendril. Do not get wrecked by this thing. It almost wrecked me. Behind this door, we will run into Boar, our first hunk of meat for tiny little alligator boy. So, just like the previous bones, once you get this, once you kill him, make sure you pick it up. Don't let it sit there. After this, we're going to head down to the right, down some stairs, fighting, what do you know, more waves of enemies to clear. So we're just, once again, going to push through, clear all this stuff in a linear progression. There will now be more tendrils popping up. Tendrils are really good at just smashing your back lines. So if you are a backline person, just be careful, be wary, group your enemies, try to stay away from the tendrils, and keep pushing forward. Once you enter this back room back here, there are going to be buttons all over the ground that open different doors and let other enemies in. They're really hard to avoid, so just know that when you enter this room, there are going to be a good amount of enemies. Do your best, group them, clear them, move on to the loot at the back, which for those of you wondering is a life jewel you can mine and a chest. Once you grab that loot, you're gonna go and continue to clear down this hallway, across this bridge, past this tendril, and then there will be a teleport. Once you clear the room and go ahead and take that teleport, you will be in a giant red room. It's literally red. We will be clearing this room, but first things first, up ahead on the right, there will be a mine, and behind that mine, there is a chest. Once you've cleared this room, at the very end, you will see an earth crag thing to mine. There's an earth stone to mine. And then you'll head back to that teleport you could take on the way out. You're going to enter a room with a weird bunch of symbols on the ground in a circle. Once you enter this room, it will slowly start to spawn enemies more and more over time. you're just going to do your best to group and clear, not get overwhelmed and get sideswiped by these guys. Once you've beaten that, one of the side rooms will contain a life bloom you can harvest, and other than that, it'll be empty and you can head down and open the door down below. Once you've opened this door, there will be a tendril on the other side, and just like before, you're going to push and clear, group and clear things as fast as you can across this bridge. There will be a key, an orb you can open with your staff. You're going to push up these stairs to kill these mobs on their way up. We've now done a full circle. We are back into this main room where there was a broken bridge. And unlike my team who almost walks up those stairs, we're going to turn around and there's a door to the right that's now open. We recommend you pull this guy right here in the middle and fight him back here, because there are 2 tendrils up here on the right and left, along with some swarmers that are they just beat down on you, and it's just easier to take them out here. Behind them, there is a life jewel and a vein of platinum, as well as another chest. After you've got all this loot, we're going to go out up the stairs and now across the bridge that has appeared, where my teammates are already clearing the next waves of enemies. We're going to go ahead, push up these stairs, clear these enemies out, and hit this waypoint before moving on to Archdeacon. Now the Archdeacon Azamala, is the mini boss for this dungeon. Now Azamala summons hounds. He summons 2 hounds that attack, and man, they stack quick, so you have to focus these down, and if you need help, you'll need to call for it. He also does corrupted eruption. He turns a small patch of land black, and a skull erupts from there after a short delay, doing damage to players in the area. There's also a wave that's like a red wave that Azamala shoots out in front of himself that does damage to those in its path. Now, here's the important part of this for your strategy. Azamala has a corrupted ritual where at certain percentages of health, he becomes invulnerable and channels mines. These mines spawn in increasing amounts while he channels his ritual. They will explode for a decent amount of damage. So you kind of want to focus those mines. There will be 3 people who will be able to go to a portal and defeat the enemies in front of corrupted pillars and disrupt Archdeacon's channeling. Now, the strat that ended up working best for us was we sent one of our damage, and we had 2 kind of tanky people. So we sent our damage and tanky people to go take care of that, while our healer and another damage stayed back and kind of like dealt with being squishy in this area of exploding mines. And in all honesty, we almost didn't make it and struggled with this more than we should have. So when you're running this with a group, just make sure that you are focusing the hounds down as quick as possible, and you know who is going through the portals when the portals appear for those corrupted shrines. Make sure, before you leave this area, that you do pick up that journal I showed, just on one of the crates back there, as well as get those 2 crates. Hop up these stairs, go up them, and run down the room to the teleport. Don't forget this platinum vein. We've missed it almost every time except for one dude, so make sure you grab that. You'll be back in this red room. You're going to clear it out again, and then you're going to go and get to the core. Quickly burst it down. Don't forget this chest on the right. If you go through the portal, you can like jump off an edge if you can find it and reset yourself back to the waypoint, but it's just a hassle. Then up these stairs and on to Archibald, who's just a big old bear. After you kill Archibald, you can skin him if your skinning is high enough, but otherwise just move forward. You'll run into some tendrils up those stairs, just the one and an earthstone. Go ahead and clear those, and then off to the left there will be some easy trash mobs. Kill those real quick, and then behind them will be a chest, just a supply stockpile that you can grab before going ahead and taking care of this monolith over here and the carapaces on it. You will need your team members, I believe, to help you with destroying the monolith. You just walk up with your staff, hold it, and it explodes like that. This door behind it opens, and you can move forward down the hallway to your next waypoint, and then forward towards Commander Thorpe. On the left, there will be a locked chest that you can't get into, and then the doorway into Commander Thorpe. And just like with every other dungeon New World's given us, our last boss has a monologue before he starts his battle, and then his health bar appears and he becomes vulnerable for attacks. Now I want to go over his moveset because we had a hard time our first time getting through this. It's much easier once you know his moveset. Unfortunately, there are 2 moves I don't have slow-mos for you, but they won't be that hard, so let's start there. Flame Charge. Thorpe's going to point at a player. He's going to drag his sword. And then charge towards the player, leaving a fiery trail behind him, slashing at the player. Occasionally, this is a jump instead of a slash, doing a small AoE damage in that area. The other move I am missing is Flame Circle. Thorpe will put a circle of flames on the floor. If you're in this, it's going to do damage to you. Easy peasy. Once you see both of these moves, you'll be able to figure them out pretty quick. Let's go over the other ones. Corrupted Pull. Thorpe will face the player and raise his sword, and then after a short bit, he's going to pull all the players in his sight into melee range. If you're behind him, this doesn't affect you. And then he summons Behemoths. Once you reach Thorpe's health around 15%, Thorpe, on the first time, will go invulnerable, he'll regenerate his health, and he'll summon Behemoths. This happens periodically at random after this, and you need to take care of these Behemoths because they will wreck you. Just like every other ad boss, they will wreck you, but these guys hurt. Next we have Soul Beam. Soul Beam is a laser that I absolutely hate that Thorpe shoots across the room. This laser only occurs after you've started summoning Behemoths, so you don't have to worry about that. If your tank has Thorpe to keep his control while your damage goes off and takes care of the ads, try to make sure Thorpe is either facing away from your party or your party has taken the time to pay attention to Thorpe and get behind him. This laser will do near-death damage or it will insta-kill you. I hate it. It downed me so many times. You just gotta know that after Thorpe says, prepare to have your soul crushed, there's a bad laser beam coming and you need to get out of the way. This does so much damage. Then there's one where Thorpe says, time to taste corrupted steel, and a red ring / kind of globe appears around Thorpe, and after a little bit there's an explosion and does damage to those inside the circle. After you beat him, just make sure you grab your loot, head back towards that locked chest, grab the loot from that chest, and then make your way back out front and turn in your chunks of meat. Make sure you got your chunk of meat from Commander Thorpe, who was our last bit, and hand it back into cute tiny little alligator. And boom. Just like that. You finished the dungeon. Congrats. Thank you so much for sticking around, watching the guide, getting all the information you could out of it. If you enjoyed yourself or found any of this useful, please like, subscribe, comment, feed the algorithm, help us out. Get more people in here so that they know we're doing good stuff. We appreciate that. If you'd like to check out me or Spazzy, both of us being part of Dex and Damage, over on Twitch or Twitter or TikTok, links for all of our socials will be down below. And we will catch you in the next one.